Counting on alums Jed and Katie Duggar are currently expecting twin daughters. Last July, the married couple did a gender reveal party in which they surprised everyone by announcing they were expecting twins. Since then, members of the Duggar family have been excited about the two upcoming additions to the family. Jed even took to social media to share his first major project with Katie for their baby girls. Keep reading to see what it was. Katie's pregnancy has been healthy, just like her past two pregnancies. The Counting on alum often shares her outdoor activities with Trude and Nora. Some fans also think Katie is now Duggar royalty for becoming the first family member to have twins. Some also said that she's never been vacant from pregnancy, seemingly following the footsteps of her mother-in-law Michelle. Katie has also listed her Amazon wish list for her upcoming twin baby girls, but some fans were puzzled by it due to the depressing colorways she chose for her kids' clothes. In an Instagram post, Jed uploaded a clip of his wife showing off their latest project for their upcoming twins. According to the Counting on alums, they have officially begun preparing their girls' room. The married couple was so proud of the floral wallpaper they installed on the wall. Some fans said the art looked great, while others worry that it may look too busy for the babies. Katie also took to social media earlier this month to share her 22-week pregnancy photos. Made it to 22 weeks now to survive and thrive through the many more ahead. The Counting on alum captioned she was holding up a 2 sign in one of her pictures, which is an indication of her upcoming twins. Many people were also impressed by Katie Duggar's pregnancy glow-up. Jinger Duggar and her 18 siblings became famous overnight thanks to TLC's 19 Kids and Counting and its spin-off Counting on. Still, having cameras follow you around from a young age did have its drawbacks. Recently, Jinger confessed one of the most unique challenges of growing up on TV in her memoir, Becoming Free Indeed. Jinger opened up about her cult-like upbringing based on the teachings of Bill Gothard's Institute for Basic Life principles. Her parents, Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, raised their brood of children with strict rules regarding modesty, gender roles, purity, and more. Jinger has certainly disentangled from some of those beliefs. The mom of two, however, recently opened up about a lingering effect of growing up as a reality star. In late September, Jinger and her husband and Jeremy Vu sat down to reflect on their first year of marriage on their YouTube channel. They will celebrate 8 years of marriage. On November 5th, the parents of two discussed a variety of topics. However, Jeremy brought up an interesting struggle the Duggars have dealt with in their everyday lives since becoming reality TV famous. One of the most unique challenges that you and your family have is the reality of preconceived ideas of who you are, Jeremy said, because people have seen you in a setting on a show. They've seen you so intimately for so many years that really any setting you walk into where there is a knowledge of you, you're having to deal with preconceptions about you, and I can't imagine how difficult that is to overcome on the show. I was so outgoing, had so much personality, was just rolling my eyes, acting silly, goofy, she explained. And then I think the older I got, I went through a season where I thought, okay, to be a mature Christian, I just don't need to laugh. I just need to be all pious and keep it together, so I look like I'm extra spiritual. But I think a lot of it was the temperament and personality of what people thought I was. She continued on the show. I feel like I wasn't living in a character because that's legit who I was, coming out of that and then growing into an adult as you're filming. I think there was a time where I'm like, am I an extrovert? Am I more introverted? I think I just became more guarded, she confessed. I don't know how much of it was the reality of what everybody thought I was supposed to be, she added. I just kept playing into it, right? Real is. I think, okay, I like to have fun, I like to be spontaneous, that is me, but I'm also not going to be this wild person, you know, that's really not me at my core. And a lot of people had a preconceived idea that I was going to run off and be this rebel, and they had painted a character of who they thought I was going to be. Ginger also shared a snippet of the YouTube video with her Instagram followers. In the comments, followers reacted to Ginger's confession of struggling internally with others' preconceived notions and her own self-discovery process. One person wrote, "Maybe it's the editing of the show. You seemed incredibly shy and introverted. You seemed so much more outspoken and outgoing now, at least that's my perception." Another Instagram user commented, "I love the show, however, I always saw the pressure it placed on you and your siblings. It always seemed like a conservative life your parents had chosen. It must have been hard to find yourself after you got married." Meanwhile, someone else shared, "I am an Amber. It sounds like you may be too. Also, healing can make us much more introverted, at least it has for me. I'm so proud of you. Fans of 19 kids and counting on especially those with large families might find they have some things in common with the stars, but second eldest daughter Jill Duggar became especially relatable to many parents when she shared a video detailing installing her own rearview mirror and revealed her car is super messy. Not everyone was impressed though. Some people tried to shame her for her messy vehicle, although Jill answered some of her critics in the comments section as they suggested having her car detailed and even pointed out that it likely isn't a money issue since her husband is a lawyer. Jill seemed unbothered by the critics. As someone who was in the public eye with her family for the better part of her childhood and into adulthood, Jill has clearly developed a thick skin when it comes to internet comments. When Jill shared an Instagram video of herself going through the steps of replacing her rearview mirror, she also inadvertently showed the messier side of having 3 kids in the family car on a regular basis, from the goldfish cracker crumbs in the hard-to-reach spots next to the front seat to the small toys and crumbs in the cup holders. It was a relatable moment for the former reality TV star, and while some of her followers commented to say just that, others urged Jill to have her car detailed like yesterday, but Jill commented back, "Maybe after our next trip, because we all know after being in the car a whole 2.5 seconds it's going to look like it does now." When another follower commented on the post to share that it's comforting to know Jill's car as a mom looks like theirs, Jill replied that it's hard to keep the interior of the family car looking perfect. "I'm sure we will miss these days someday," Joe commented, "that helps me keep the mess in perspective as we do little car cleans here and there, but rarely keep it detailed to perfection." The Duggar family has never been short on headlines, with their ever-expanding family and their reality TV show, Counting On, capturing the public's attention for years. From weddings to babies, their lives were an open book for fans to follow. But recently, Jed Duggar made an announcement that left fans speechless, sending shockwaves through the Duggar community and beyond. It was, without a doubt, the saddest news ever. Jed, the second youngest son of Jim Bob and Michelle Duggar, had always been a fan favorite. Known for his easygoing nature and quiet presence, he grew up in the spotlight alongside his 18 siblings. Like many in the Duggar family, Jed had walked a well-established path of faith, family, and community. His fans, who had watched him grow up over the years, were invested in his journey. They saw him get married to Katie Nakatsu in a beautiful ceremony that was full of joy and optimism. But now, in a deeply emotional social media post, Jed had something else to share, something that would change everything. The heartfelt announcement. On a quiet evening, Jed Duggar took to Instagram with a message that was both unexpected and heartbreaking. His post was simple but carried with it an undeniable weight. The photograph was of Jed and his wife, Katie, holding hands, their faces filled with somber expressions. Beneath the image, Jed's caption read, "It is with a heavy heart that I share some difficult news. After much prayer and consideration, Katie and I have decided to announce that we have lost our precious baby. This has been an incredibly painful time for us, and we ask for privacy and prayers as we navigate this heart-wrenching loss. We know that God has a plan for us, and we will continue to trust in Him through this." Thank you for your support
Jed's
during
words,
this,
though
though concise, revealed the devastating reality that the Duggar family had been struck by a loss that no one could have anticipated. The young couple, who had only recently begun their own family journey, had experienced the heartbreak of a miscarriage, a deeply personal and painful experience that hit them harder than anyone could have imagined. Fans' shock and sympathy. The post immediately went viral, and the reactions flooded in from fans across the globe. Counting on fans who had grown up watching Jed and his siblings navigate the ups and downs of life were left heartbroken by the news. Many offered their deepest sympathies, sharing messages of love, support, and prayers for the young couple. Jed's announcement was not only an emotional revelation for his family, but also for the countless fans who had followed his journey for so long. The Duggars had always been seen as a family of unwavering faith, but this news brought a human side to their story that many had never seen before. In a world where the Duggars' lives often seemed scripted and perfect, this loss reminded everyone that behind the cameras, they were a family dealing with the same heartache and struggles as anyone else. Many fans expressed their sorrow in the comment sections, with some recounting their own experiences of loss. For some, Jed's vulnerability provided comfort, knowing they weren't alone in their grief. It was clear that the Duggar family, for all their fame, was not immune to the heartbreak and challenges of real life. The impact on the Duggar family. In the days following the announcement, the Duggar family rallied around Jed and Katie, offering their support in any way they could. While the Duggars are often portrayed as a tight-knit family, this experience brought them even closer. The loss of a baby, especially one that was so eagerly anticipated, affected everyone deeply. Jim, Bob, and Michelle, in particular, were heartbroken for their son, as they too had walked this painful path years earlier. In interviews, Jim, Bob, and Michelle expressed their sadness for their son's loss. As parents, you always want to protect your children from pain, but sometimes life brings things that you can't control, Jim, Bob shared. We are praying for Jed and Katie and trust that God will be with them during this tough time. Michelle, too, spoke with emotion, saying, "No parent should have to bury their child, and although this isn't the same as that, the loss of a grandchild is still a heavy burden. We hurt with them, and we will continue to support them every step of the way." Despite the devastation, the Duggars' faith remained a core part of their coping mechanism. "We know that God is with us, and we trust that He has a plan for our family," Michelle added, "but that doesn't make the pain any easier to bear." The broader conversation. Jed's announcement sparked a wider conversation about miscarriage, a topic that is often shrouded in silence, especially in the public eye. The Duggar family, who had shared so much of their lives with the world, had now opened the door for others to feel comfortable sharing their own struggles. Many fans and followers praised Jed and Katie for their courage in sharing such a personal experience, noting that it helped to normalize the conversation around miscarriage. In the weeks that followed, other women, particularly those who had followed the Duggars' journey for years, began to share their own stories of loss and healing. It was clear that Jed's announcement had resonated with many who had faced similar heartbreak but hadn't felt they could speak openly about it. Looking forward, as the Duggar family works through their grief, fans are left wondering how this loss will impact Jed and Katie's future. Will they continue to expand their family, or will this tragic experience cause them to pause and reflect? Only time will tell. For now, Jed's heartfelt announcement has left fans stunned, but it has also reminded everyone that even the most visible, seemingly perfect families face moments of deep pain. In an industry that often glorifies perfection, Jed and Katie's openness about their heartbreak has touched the hearts of many and reminded us all that life's journey isn't always easy. Yet through faith, love, and support, the Duggars are finding a way to move forward, one step at a time. As Jed so poignantly put it in his message, we will continue to trust in Him through this. And for those who follow the Duggar family, there's no doubt that this is a loss they will face together, as a family united in faith and love. All Duggar family news. Jinger Duggar Volo. Related. For you recently uploaded watched.